And good morning. How's everybody doing today? This is Rich Harshaw. I am the founder, CEO, and author of Monopolize Your Marketplace, and I want to welcome you to this webinar today. We're going to get started here in just a second. As is typical on a webinar like this, not everybody always gets on right at the exact starting moment. So we're going to go ahead and go through this topic today. It's called Standing for Something, Forging Your Company's Unique Identity. And those of you who have some familiarity with Monopolize Your Marketplace, this will be what you'll recognize to be really the seminal topic that defines Monopolize Your Marketplace. Everything starts here. So I want to thank you for being here to really set the foundation for this idea of identity, which is the gateway to monopolizing your marketplace. So we're going to go ahead and start rolling through this here. The first thing that we need to cover is this idea that the rules have changed. Things are a lot different than they were even just a few years ago. And if you don't understand that things have changed, then the need for an identity will not be as strong as you. So let's take a look. People's decision-making processes have fundamentally changed since the recession. The recession, you know, there's some debate. Is it over? Is it still going? You know, the economy is still soft. It depends on what part of the country you're in. The reality is the recession was in 2008, 9, probably 10. We're a few years removed from that now, and most people would generally agree it's recovering. But there was some deep psychological scars that were inflicted on people as it relates to their money. Okay, so the idea of just stuffing your ads in the paper or putting your mailers in the mailbox is just not really going to work anymore. Just being good in a sales meeting isn't going to cut it. You've got to do more than just throw some more leads into your system to answer your marketing problems. Okay, so we've got to find ways to really address and identify what today's consumer is like. I know it's kind of a trite thing to say, today's consumer, but really, and I'm going to show you here in just a second, things have changed dramatically in the last, say, 5, 6 years. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I think that people look at their money now a lot more like a dad would look at his 16-year-old daughter going on a date. There's just a lot of concern, and a dad, I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and when she goes on a date, I want to know who the person is. I want to know a little bit about what's going on, when they're going to be back, and I want to have some sense of assurance that things are going to, you know, be okay. This is something very important to me. It's my daughter. And I think people are looking at their money a lot more scrupulously than they used to in the pre-recession days. You know, people could get a home improvement loan, a home equity loan very easily in those days, and so they weren't as careful with the money, and I think it's gotten a little bit more careful now. So the cartoon says, "Daddy's still up, I can hear him unlocking his firearms cabinet." That's kind of how people are treating their money. So that being said, if they're treating their money with more caution, it doesn't mean that they won't spend it. It doesn't mean that they're not going to spend it. It means they want to be absolutely sure, number one, that they should do the job, that it's the right timing to do the job, and that you're the right company to do the job for them. And they're going to put a lot more time and attention into figuring those things out than they might have in the past, okay? Now, let's go to the second concept of how things have changed. And this is what I call Kevin Bacon is killing your advertising results. We have a situation where the Internet's been with us now for, let's just call it nearly 20 years. We've all sort of adapted to this Internet age. And, hey, we all know that the Internet is an important part of your marketing. But the reality is the majority of companies have not gotten up to speed with today's Internet age. And it has changed. And let me show you exactly how and why. Okay, so it says Kevin Bacon is killing your advertising results. I had an experience earlier this year where I was watching TV. My wife was in the room, and a commercial came on for a television show called The Following, starring Kevin Bacon. And you know, I'm a Kevin Bacon fan, probably like anybody else. I mean, who doesn't like Kevin Bacon? I mean, his name is Bacon. Everybody loves bacon. So the show, the commercial comes on for this show. I actually haven't watched the show, but I made this comment to my wife, which is, wow, Kevin Bacon is looking kind of hammered. How old is that guy? Look at him. You know, because we're used to see them young and, you know, footloose, whatever. And my wife says, yeah, he's looking kind of wore out around the edges. And I thought, man, I wonder how old Kevin Bacon is. And I grabbed my phone. I've got an iPhone. You've probably got an iPhone or an Android or something similar. And on an iPhone, you can literally just push a button, and I'll do it right now. What is Kevin Bacon's birthday?
Let me check that. Okay, Rich, here you go.
Okay, here's what Siri just found for me. Kevin Bacon was born on Tuesday, July 8th, 1958. As of right now, he is 54 years, 9 months, 26 days, 2,860 weeks and 3 days old, 20,023 days old, 54.82 years old. He was born on the 189th day of 1958 in the 28th week, and sunrise was at 6:27 a.m. On the day he was born, and the sun was set at 8:40. There was 14 hours and 14 minutes of daylight changing, and I could go on and tell you about the phase of the moon. Now, here's the point. The point is that it is extraordinarily easy to get information on anything that comes to mind. Now, on your screen, here's what you'll see. There's a personal computer, and this is what we all had 15 years ago when the internet was really coming into its, into the mainstream. And if you wanted to look something up like how old is Kevin Bacon, you could probably go over, log in, dial up and check and see if you could find something on Kevin Bacon. And you might have to search around and poke and prod, and there weren't nearly as many websites. Wikipedia wasn't in place yet. And then a little bit later, things changed, and the laptop started becoming more prevalent. And then about 6, 7, 8 years ago, wireless internet started becoming more prevalent. Remember, before it was a big deal. Nobody had even wireless internet at their home. Now, everything's wireless. And then in 2007 and 2008, we started getting the iPhone. 2010, we got the iPad. And now, because of the internet, we have tremendous access. Because of the iPhone, because of the iPad, and other related similar types of devices, we have unlimited instant access to every piece of information we could ever want. And you're saying, so what? Well, it makes a huge difference when it comes to marketing, particularly for you as a home improvement or remodeling company. Because here's what happens now. Let's go through an evaluation of what happens in advertising. You're going to see how Kevin Bacon is killing it. Well, let's take a look at this graph real quick. It's on your screen. And it shows the purple line is desktop computers, and you can see there's about 40 million units per quarter sold. And if you look at this number in the last 5 or 6 years, it stays pretty constant. And it's going down now. We know that. And then you see here laptops are green, and they were lower than desktops, and then they stayed kind of even for 2008, 2009, and then they started shipping more units of laptops. And then here's the interesting thing. Look at smartphones. 2007, June, there really weren't that many. And then it pops up per quarter. Now, in 2012, December is the last time I have data for, 200 million quarterly units. And tablet computers are now up exceeding desktops and quickly approaching and will soon outpace laptops. Okay, so this is called how people have access to information. Well, let's take a look. People have easier access to information. If you used to place an ad in the paper, or you ran ads on the radio, or you put mailers in people's mailboxes, if you go back 5 or 6 or 7 years, let's go back and talk about a time when you could place your ad and get 10 responses. Okay, remember that? Now, who knows how much money you had to spend, but just say, for example's sake, that you would spend X number of dollars and get 10 people to call. Now you spend that same money to run that same ad, and how many responses do you get? Do you get 10 still? And the answer is no. No, you do not get 10 still. Here's what happens now. Now you place the same ad, and you get 2 people that call from the ad, 20%. 4 people got an idea and searched online before they ever even saw your ad. Here's what this means. They didn't even see your ad. They got an idea that said, hey, I'd like to remodel my kitchen. Hey, my kitchen stinks. I'd like to get a new one. And they go to their phone, and they push the button. I want to remodel my kitchen, Siri. Come Come on, Siri. Help me out here.
I couldn't find any kitchen contractors.
Search the web. Push the button.
Searching the web for I want to remodel my kitchen, Siri.
And let's see what comes up. I'm in the Dallas area. Home remodeling. Kitchen remodeling deal. Seriously? Let's see. Is it wiser to renovate or buy a new house? Testimonials. Kitchen remodeling. Kitchen remodeling. Kitchen remodeling. Kitchen remodeling cost. RemodelYourKitchen.com. Remodeling vault. It goes on. It's right there. So now what happens is I have the ability to search and look. And here's the key. Write this down. Scratch the itch of remodeling before I ever see your ad. You see, 7 years ago, if I had the idea that I wanted to remodel, I probably wouldn't take any action to go look something up because it wasn't that convenient. Some people would, but the majority just kind of would wait, and then they'd see your ad, boom, you'd get a call. Not anymore. Now only 2 are calling from the ad. 4 looked and scratched the itch before your ad ever appeared. 3 saw your ad, thought, huh, that looks interesting. They looked you up online. They didn't call. They didn't convert into a call because your website wasn't working properly. We're going to talk about that as we go through this webinar today. And then 1 person may have seen your ad, searched online, and then did call you. So now you've got 2, maybe 3 calls, when in reality, 7, 8 years ago, you got 10 calls. Now, here's the interesting thing, and here's the question, and here's the opportunity. What can you do about this? Here's what people are doing. They come to me, and they say, hey, Rich, my ad doesn't work as good. I need to get the same 10 calls I used to get, but I can't get 10 calls anymore. And here's the reality. Somebody asking me, how do I write my ad so that it works better, really isn't even the right question anymore. Think about that for a minute. It really isn't even the right question. The right question is, how do I create a marketing program that adapts itself to the way people want to gather information and make decisions now? And the answer is not, they want to see your ad. Now, writing good ads is still a worthwhile endeavor, and it's still an important question to ask. It's just not the most important question like it was in the past. The important question now is, how can I get people to find me when they go look on the internet? And when they do find me, how can I make sure that they actually do something, call me, and make a deal? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. The net result, again, 3 calls instead of 10. That's called a disaster, okay? Here's what marketing is supposed to do. It's supposed to facilitate the prospect making the best decision possible when buying whatever it is that you sell. Underline that top word. Facilitate the decision-making process of the prospect. Here's why. They don't know how to buy what you sell. They've never bought it before. You want to make them feel like they'd have to be an absolute fool to do business with anyone else but you, regardless of price. So here's a question. How many times in your life have you purchased a piano? You say, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it has everything to do with everything. Here's the question. If you've never bought a piano and you've got a son or a daughter who's been playing the electronic keyboard that you bought at Best Buy for $132 last year, and they're getting pretty good, and you've decided that you want to get them into serious lessons and you want to get them an actual piano, and you've set foot in the piano store to buy a piano, let me ask you this. Do you have any idea what to look for? Do you have any idea how to judge a piano versus another piano versus another piano? Is it possible that a $3,000 piano and an $8,000 piano look exactly the same? And the answer is, of course. And this is exactly what happens when people walk in, metaphorically speaking, to your showroom or call you or your website, and they want to buy a kitchen remodel or a new window. They don't have any foggy clue because they've never bought one before. And I don't want to hear your stories about, oh, well, I've had customers that have remodeled their kitchen 3 times. I don't care, because that person is such an anomaly. They're such an outlier that it doesn't even make sense to talk about them. The vast majority of the people you're ever going to talk to, they don't know jack squat about anything. So here's what they're up against now. The recession happened. I'm tighter with my money. I want to make sure. So they go and they try to research, because now the internet is instantly accessible to them. And guess what they're typically finding? Answer, not very much good information. This is a problem. And all of your competitors that out-information you, that out-educate you, that outperform you, that out-search engine optimization you, that out-convert you on their websites, they are the companies that will dominate and kill all of you in the future. Oh, that's a rough way to say it, Rich. Well, that's the way that it really, actually, truly is. If you took your advertising budget and you quadrupled it, you will now get the same number of leads that you used to get on 1/4 of the budget, and you'll still be missing most of the business. You can't run a business that way. It simply does not work. You say, well, we'll get referrals. We get referrals and repeat business. Fantastic. Bully for you for getting referrals and repeat business. I encourage it. But here's the problem with it. It's not scalable. You can't scale that. You're limited by how many past customers you've had. And you go, well, we'll put a different kind of program in place. Okay, good. But it's not readily scalable. Here's what is scalable. Understanding how to operate in today's marketplace. Here's what you've got to come to grips with. There's still business out there. You're just not getting it. You've got to find out how to get it to come to you instead of everybody else, okay? The curse of knowledge is one thing that's killing us. It says the more that you know, the worse off that you are. When you're intimately familiar with things like your business, it's very difficult to imagine what it's like to not possess that knowledge. You tend to communicate in terms that are not easily understood to your prospects, so your word print and their word print is disconnected. Here's what that means. You say things that have a certain meaning to you, but other people hear it and it doesn't mean the same thing, okay? So it's kind of a gross story, but go with me here. Going back about 5 or 6 years, this is back about the time when everything changed. I've got 6 kids, and I live in the same vicinity as my parents. They live about 20 minutes from here. So one day my mom said, hey, I'm going to take your kids over to the park. So she came over and took, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 of my kids. They were a lot younger at the time. And she took them to the park, and they were playing. Well, one of my kids was 5 years old at the time. He came up to Grandma, and he said, hey, Grandma, I have to go to the bathroom. And Grandma looks around and doesn't really see any bathroom, so she says, hey, you know what, you're going to have to hold it. And he says, but Grandma, I got to go really bad. I can't hold it. So she looks around. She sees some trees over there, and she says, hey, go over there behind that tree. It's no big deal. Kid looks a little confused, a little perplexed. We don't encourage this kind of behavior in our backyard. And so he says, are you sure? And Grandma says, yeah, there was really nowhere else, so just go. So the kid goes off, and she's, kind of keeping an eye over there, but not, watching, whatever. A minute later, the kid comes waddling out from behind the tree with his drawers down around his ankles, and he says, hey, Grandma, there's no toilet paper back here. This is the curse of knowledge. You've got a 65-year-old grandma who understands very clearly what she means when she says go back behind that tree. But a 5-year-old, it means a whole different thing. And in the scenario of you selling kitchen remodeling, or you selling windows and doors, or you selling whatever it is you sell to your prospects, you're a lot more like the 65-year-old grandma, and your customers are a lot more like the 5-year-old kid. They're naive, they're uneducated, they don't understand. Meanwhile, you're over here saying things that make perfect sense, and they're going, I don't even understand it. Now, they don't know that they don't understand it, and that's what creates the problem, okay? Going to the bathroom, starving. Starving. My kid says, I'm starving. Here's what it means. I need another Pop-Tart. Well, that means something very different to maybe somebody else. Killer whale. Here's all I'm trying to say. The curse of knowledge is alive and well, and it is killing your marketing results. We take the risk out of home improvement. This is a customer of mine a few years ago. This was their slogan, and the company really stood behind it. If anything went wrong or anything was problematic, they would take the time and effort and money to fix it. And I saw their slogan, and they put it all over their ads. Hey, we take the risk out of home improvement. We take the risk out of home improvement. And I said, yeah, but you're saying things that people completely expect that really don't have any impact. And they said, what are you talking about? We really do take the risk out of home improvement. I said, yeah, but nobody knows that. Tell me about it. What do you mean you take the risk out of home improvement? And they told me the story. They sold sunrooms. They told me a story about a sunroom that they had installed, and for reasons that we don't need to discuss here, it had gotten installed very poorly. And when the first big rainstorm came, it was breached and it leaked, and it caused a huge problem, ruined the interior furnishings of the home. The flooring and the furniture was destroyed. The homeowner was livid, called up this company, cussing and screaming, and the guy comes over from the company that takes the risk out of home improvement, gets a tarp out, covers up everything, has an emergency order to the factory, gets a whole new sunroom, and doesn't try to fix the old one, just rips it down, of course, the next day, builds the new one, gets his best crews, oversees it himself, out of his own pocket does this, pays for new furnishing, pays for new flooring, does everything, adds extra touches, adds extra things that weren't there in the first place to make it even better, and the customer was thrilled because he took the risk out of home improvement. But see, that story is not readily translated when you just hear we take the risk out of home improvement. We've got to find a way to communicate better, okay? So let's talk very quickly about the 4 principles that make 80% of the difference when it comes to your marketing. They've got to be tackled in this order, no exceptions. You can't say, well, we'll do number 3. You got to do number 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, no exceptions. The first one is forging a unique, memorable, and powerful identity. That's the topic that we're going to cover at length in today's webinar. Number 2, winning the battle of the now buyers. This is a corollary to number 1 because we just talked about this Kevin Bacon idea where people are checking online for things, and if they're not finding you, or if they are finding you and they're not converting, then you've got a massive problem in your business. And we're going to talk about this today in terms of how to win the now buyers. But here's what we're going to talk about it in terms of identity. It all comes back to identity. There's a whole topic called search engine optimization. It's extremely critical. It's got to be tackled, and it's got to be handled, but not until this concept of identity. So we're not going to talk about search engine optimization and driving traffic to your website, but we are going to talk about when somebody does get to your website, making sure there's a strong identity that causes people to stick and to convert, okay? The third thing is preconditioning, or what we sometimes call pre-positioning, getting people to understand who you are, what you're all about before they show up to the sales meeting, before your salesperson shows up, so that they're already favorably predisposed to buy from you before you ever set foot in their house. It's big stuff. It's important stuff. Not today's topic. We don't have time, but it is the third thing. Then if you do these 3 things, you'll grow your business, and you can invest your profits in relationship-building advertising. I break advertising into 2 separate, distinct categories. One is what I call intelligent mailings. This would be things like proximity mailers, mailing your past prospects that did not convert, mailing your past customers, mailing people in certain neighborhoods that fit certain criteria. This is what's called intelligent mailing. The reason it's called intelligent mailing is because we're sending very specific pieces out to very specific target markets with a very specific strategy, okay? The other type of advertising is what we'd call traditional advertising: broadcast, print media, radio, television, shared mailers, newspapers, magazines, billboards. Those types of things are traditional advertising. But we're not going to talk about those at all today. But I want you to see that if you do not have an identity, going after now buyers, trying to pre-position, going into advertising, none of it will be optimized. It will all be under-leveraged. So we've got to start here with identity. That's why we're here today. So that's where we're going to go right now. To start this conversation, let me show you this. Most marketing is full of platitudes. A platitude, by definition, words or phrases that are drearily commonplace and predictable, that lack power to evoke interest through overuse and repetition, that are nevertheless stated as though they were original or significant. This is a platitude. Things like best service, highest quality, largest selection, free estimates, in business since 1431 BC. Woohoo! We've been around forever. And people look at this stuff and they go, yeah, this is the exact kind of stuff that we always see that we would expect. Think about it in terms of the Charlie Brown cartoons that you would see on TV, like the Christmas special and the Thanksgiving special. Remember when Charlie Brown's mom or one of the teachers would talk to the kids, what it would sound like? Wah, 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 wah. That's what your marketing sounds like when you use platitudes. We're a family-owned business that's been in business since 1987. Wah, 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 wah. We are dedicated to your satisfaction. We only offer outstanding service. We aim to meet all of our customers. Wah, 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 wah. This is what we see, okay? By contrast, identity. Here's the definition. Words, phrases, and images articulated with power, precision, and passion. This is a key trifecta of P words: power, precision, passion, that instantly and definitively communicate who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Let me ask you this. If somebody was to look at your website, if somebody was to look at your brochure, if somebody were to look at your advertisement running in the newspaper, would they be able to instantly and definitively understand who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you? And I will bet a lot of money on the fact that the answer is no. No, they cannot instantly, definitively tell who you are, how you're different, better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you, because you probably don't know how to communicate it. Here's what I found. In business, and particularly in the remodeling business, there are 6 major functionalities that have to be possessed by the business in order to excel. You've got to have sales, sales management, operations, production, finance, and marketing. And my experience tells me that almost all of the people that came into owning home improvement and remodeling companies come out of 2 out of those 6 categories. They come out of either sales or out of production. Now listen to this. Sales, sales management, operations, production, finance, and marketing. And if you come out of sales or if you come out of production, there's a good chance that you don't really understand that well finance part, the operations part, sales management part, and definitely the marketing part. So I'm not trying to tell you that, hey, you're just dumb, what's your problem? I'm trying to tell you there's a reason why almost every home improvement and home improvement and remodeling company doesn't understand and get this stuff right, okay? Let's do a quick couple of searches here. If I were to do a search for windows in Austin, that's what you see on here. Here's the kinds of websites that come up. ASAP, Anderson Windows for professional window installation in Austin. No one beats ASAP Construction. Our Austin window replacement team is highly experienced. We guarantee you will be replacement in new construction windows. Anderson Series 100. Nobody knows what an Anderson freaking Series 100 is. How would anybody possibly know that? No maintenance Fibrex. What is Fibrex? It sounds like the stuff that you put in your cereal bowl to keep you regular all day long. No maintenance Fibrex Windows combines the strength, beauty, and superior insulating properties of wood with the low cost, low maintenance of vinyl. Choose from over 20,000 style, shape, size combinations. This is not getting the job done. Energy-wise windows. We are a local, homegrown Austin window and door replacement company, a small business that understands how energy-efficient replacement windows can positively affect our beautiful but strained planet in Texas. I particularly love Austin and Houston because I grew up in Houston and is where my family still resides. I don't see how this is relevant to me wanting to buy a flipping window from you. Ringer Windows, designed for Texas, made in Texas, best in Texas. Platitude, 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 the replacement window experts. As the Austin replacement window experts, we know how much money you can save on your electric bill by the installation of quality, energy-efficient windows. We know because we are the window factory. We manufacture our windows at our Pflugerville factory. This one's fantastic. JP Construction, great products. Austin Window Company, an affordable Austin Windows company. You can't beat our prices. This is garbage for a website. People are going to show up on this and say, really, and then go away. It's not going to work. Pella Windows, goodbye window worries. You don't have to worry. You don't have to live with drafty, leaky, plain, ugly old windows and doors, high energy bills anymore. Built solid, installed, and serviced by Pella. This is all platitudes. Our windows are better. They're solid. They're good. We're the best. They don't communicate with power, precision, and passion, instantly and definitively, allow people to understand who you are, what you're all about, and what they can expect when doing business with you. Okay? Let's look at bathroom remodeling. Here's a quick web search for bathroom remodeling here in the Dallas area. Curb Appeal Renovations. Enjoy the satisfaction of excellence. Okay. It's a nice-looking website. I think most people would look at this picture and say, okay, you know, company probably does good work. Curb Appeal Renovations, Inc. is a design, build, remodeling company that has been creating beautiful spaces in the areas of South Lake, Colleyville, Keller, Trophy Club, Grapevine, Flower Mound, Roanoke, North Richland Hills, Bedford, Hearst, Euless. Would you ever in a billion, zillion, trillion, million years say that to an actual human? Oh, well, we've got to get ranked high in Google, so we got to stuff all these keywords in there so people know that we're in Keller, Roanoke, Grapevine, Flower Mound, you know, etc. Yeah, you know what? Put that stuff lower on the page. Google's still going to find it so that when you talk to a, human, they don't read this and go, why is this guy telling me every freaking city on the planet that's in my neighborhood? Why would he do this? Our award-winning design, build, remodeling services include kitchens, baths, whole home remodeling, additions, universal design, and green building. Our design build process is designed to give you confidence that your home will be well designed, well constructed, and well taken care of. This is too easy to just gloss over and not have any understanding of what this is really trying to communicate. Let's look at the next one. Swanson Renovations, top quality and professional remodeling contracting. At Swanson's Renovations, LLC, we specialize in top quality work and personalized service for your remodeling needs. Let's look at what the alternative is to this. What would they potentially say if they didn't say this? At Swanson Renovations, we specialize in crummy work, ripping you off, giving you no good service, and making you infuriated. We take pride in the fact that we have become one of the highest rated renovation and repair companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are the leader in remodeling. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. Okay? Next, premium remodeling and construction services. We offer a wide range of services to help meet your remodeling or construction needs. We have over 15 years experience. And again, it's the same kind of stuff over and over. We got a note here from the owner that's about 72 lines long. It's impossible to read, and it's not going to work. And this is what we see time and time and time again. Okay, so we've got to get past this. Lee's Tile and Remodeling, Plano Bathroom Remodeling. Lee's Tile and Remodeling is proud to serve Dallas, Plano, Fort Worth, Northern Texas. And again, it's the same stuff again and again and again. Okay, it's a bunch of platitudes. So what we've got to do is break through this and get it to the concept of identity. Okay, if we look at some ads that are placed maybe in a newspaper or something like that, home remodeling, when it comes to remodeling, nobody can beat our service. I mean it, nobody. Quality, service, free financing, okay? It's just the same kind of stuff. Bathroom remodeling service experts, we don't need to look at all this. Let's play a game. It's called What's Your Identity? What's your identity? Okay? It's a game show. I'm going to show you something on the screen, and what you're going to do is tell me what the identity is of this company just by looking at their website or their ad. Ready? Here we go. By way of review this quickly. Look at it on the screen. Okay, here we go. All right. What is the identity of this company? Take a quick look. Take a quick look. Roofing contractors, when you need our professional services, this is the one that Dallas residents trust. I live in the Dallas area. I'm telling you, we trust these guys. Here's all we can tell is that we install roofs on houses with nails. Is there anything that gives you an idea that they're different or better or more well-qualified? Is there any power? Is there any passion? Is there any precision? The answer is no. How about this one? Now we've got this lady at a home show. Is your home show something that needs to have identity? Of course it is. Here's what they've got. Nothing. What can you tell from looking at this? We sell bathtubs that fit. That's about it. Aslan. You know, we don't need to go through all this in detail. We sell baths. Our name is Aslan. You could read this in detail. We don't really want to go through this in that much detail. We don't have time, and the point is it's not that great, okay? So here's what we want. Identity becomes the hub of your business. Then your website, your ads, your pre-positioning, your home shows, your sales presentations, your phone scripts, your mailers, all of this stuff then is based on your identity, okay? Well, you've got to have an identity. If you don't have an identity and then you go to write ads, you go to write pre-positioning or home show materials or phone scripts or mailers, it's not going to work, okay? So let's talk about how to create an identity, and then I'll show you several examples, all right? Step one, what makes your company tick? What do you already do that customers like? What do you take particular pride in? What makes you better? What makes you different? What are you really, really good at? What do you want written on your tombstone? If it was very concise, what would it say? What are you absolutely unwilling to fudge on? I want you to think about this. This is the genesis of where we're going to come up with your identity. We want to know what makes your company tick. Now, when we work with our customers, our clients, we sit down with them and go through an identity consultation that takes generally anywhere from about an hour to an hour and a half, and it's an interrogation. We want to find out everything about you. This guy says, we say, well, why would somebody do business with you? Well, because we've got better windows than our competitors. Okay, tell me about your windows. And we're going to ask, are they more efficient? What about your warranties? What about your installation? What makes your installation people different? How long have they been with you? What is it that they know? What kinds of problems can people typically expect if they don't use you? And we're going to find out all this information. We're going to ask every imaginable thing, because here's what we're looking for. It's a matter of moving on to step 2, building a case. Really, if you want to think of it in real terms, a marketing company like ours, we're really just attorneys that represent clients. And our clients are people that, like in an attorney-client relationship, we're just trying to get them to win their case. Cases are typically held in court, right? You present information to the jury. In the case of marketing, the case is being presented to the jury, which is known as the prospects. So we've got to build a case. Imagine you're being put on trial, and you had to prove that you were blank. Now, what goes in this blank? What goes in this blank is whatever it is that you want people to know about you and whatever your identity is. So if your case is based on the fact that you have better windows, okay, well, we've got to prove that. How can we prove that? What evidence could you produce to prove it? What stories can you tell to back it up? Can you provide witnesses? We have to be very, very specific when we go to court with our case. We can't just use platitudes. We've got to use actual, factual data. We've got to be able to weave the story. We've got to be able to present it in a way that's interesting and that is powerful, that is precise, and that is passionate, just like, yeah, an attorney, okay? So that's step 2. Step 1 was what makes you tick. Step 2 was build a case. Step 3, communicate with power, precision, and passion. Here's what I found. When you speak with power, people will believe that you are powerful. When you speak with power, people will be drawn to you. Your character and your competency will not be questioned. And when you speak with power, you will stand out from the crowd. You know why? Because most people do not speak with any modicum of power. Let's go back. We don't need to do this, but go back and look at all those websites that we just reviewed that were a bunch of garbage. They don't have any power. They don't have any precision. They don't have any passion. They just simply say, here's who we are and here's what we do. We've got to do better than that. Now, we don't have time to go through a detailed analysis of what I call power of words. But just to give you some quick principles, here's some of the principles of power talk. The first one is being specific. You have to communicate in specificity to get people to believe you. Okay? Next, using absolutes, words like always, never, exactly, insist. Let me give you an example. 2 different ways to say the same thing. Here's the first way to say something. The first way to say it is to say, we do the job right the first time. Think about that. Let's say you remodel kitchens. Do you want people to understand this concept? We do the job right the first time. That's what we call one way to say something. Here's another way to say something. We always insist that every job be done exactly right the first time. No exceptions. We always insist that every job be done exactly right the first time. No exceptions. This is called another way to say the same thing. One of them is much more powerful. It has more power, it has more precision, and it has more passion because we've used these absolutes. Now, absolutes is one of many principles on this page, but here's the key. We've got to find ways to say things in a way that people will, number 1, pay attention to, and number 2, believe because of the level of power, precision, and passion. Tell stories when and if it's appropriate. Have a strong opinion. Don't be afraid to tell people the way it is. Tell it like it is. Don't mince words. Use plain English, not fancy, not words that are unique to the industry. Use words that people can understand. Elevate your attitude. Become the customer's advocate. Give genuine advice. I'm here to help you needs to be the attitude. Confidence is not cocky. It's matter of fact. What we need to do is find and use power words. And that's a discussion for another day, but here's the point right now. We've got to talk with power if we want people to believe that we're powerful, okay? So let's go through a remodeling case study for a remodeling company. The situation is a company that's been in business for 25 years, highly competent. This guy's customers love him. He's really good at what he does. He's got high-touch service. He performs well. He does what he says. This is the typical guy who's been doing remodeling for a long time, that has a strong referral base, who has customers that swear by him, and that just really like him, okay? There's lots of these guys out there, right? He's got a fanatical need to get things done right. He's basically OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. He sweats every single little detail. He refuses to allow anything that's not to his exacting standards. So the premise of his identity is that he's a remodeler with exacting standards who will do everything right. Now, here's what we can't do. We can't come into the marketing environment and say, I'm a remodeler with exacting standards who will do everything right. It just sounds weird. Nobody talks like that. So we've got to find a way to communicate with what? Power, number 2, precision, number 3, passion. We want to be specific. We want to use exacting words, okay? So here's his website before we did business with this company. Revive Remodeling, Residential Remodeling, need remodeling in Portland? Enjoy browsing our site. Welcome to Revive LLC's website for information on your next home improvement remodeling project. We're a full-service residential general contracting company servicing clients throughout the greater Portland, Oregon metro area. From small projects like painting a bathroom, handyman services. You know what it turns out when I got to talking to these people? They don't even really do that. They will do that. They don't want to do that. They want to do $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 kitchens. They want to do $20,000, $30,000 bathroom remodels. And so I asked them, why is this on your website? They said, well, because we'll do stuff. We strive to make your remodeling experience not just satisfactory, but to exceed your expectations. From start to finish, we communicate to ensure your understanding of all phases of the remodel. This is just a bunch of junk that people put on websites when they don't know how to communicate with power, precision, and passion. It's not that it's horrible. It's not that it's not factual. It's not that it's untrue. It's not that people look at it and say, I hate your guts because you said that. It's stuff that is just, blah. It's like Charlie Brown's mom talking. Here's what we came up with. Same logo, same company. Persnickety, demanding, hard to please, picky, then I'm the remodeler for you. I'm not the fastest. I am not the cheapest. I am, however, according to my customers, the best. Now, let me very, very quickly add this. This is this company's identity. By definition, every single company that we deal with, including you, has their own unique identity that's unique to what you do and who you are and how you do things and where you came from and what you're all about and what makes you different and unique and better, and all these kinds of things are in your identity. So don't look at this and say, oh, well, that's got to be my identity, or this guy said this is my, or this guy says to be effective in marketing, I've got to put my picture real big on the website and say, if you're persnickety, this is not your identity. This is this company's identity, okay? And I'll show you a bunch more examples so you can say, oh, okay, I get it now. Each company has their own identity, but this is this guy's particular identity. It says in the text, in remodeling, it's all about the details, and I'm obsessed with them. Why? Because I'd rather do things right rather than right now. It takes time to do things properly, and I refuse to compromise quality for speed. I'm not the fastest, and I'm not the cheapest contractor around, but according to my customers, I exceed their expectations with the final result. Your investment in remodeling your home is something I take very seriously. It's all about you, your needs, lifestyle, having minimal disruption during the construction. That's why I prefer to spend ample time with you on, and it goes on and it explains how he works. Here's my cell phone number. It says on his home page. Feel free to interrupt my dinner. Wake me up at 2 a.m. Make me leave home early from my vacation. My only concern is that your job is done 100% right every time. Let me ask you this. Is there power in this? Is there precision in this? Is there passion in this? Do you have a good feeling what you could expect when doing business with this contractor simply by reading the website, which has his identity in it? And the answer is not, well, sort of, yeah, I don't know. The answer is yes, yes, yes. The answer is yes, okay? Now, we take this identity, we put it in a print ad. Kitchen remodeling, are you anxious to get the job done, or are you anxious to get the job done right? Some people look at this, they say, well, hey, I'm a kitchen remodeler. I would never run an ad like this in a million years. Fine, you don't have to. I'm not saying this is your identity. Some people say, well, I want to put a picture of a beautiful kitchen on there, not a picture of somebody's face. Are you telling me I got to put my picture of a face on my ad? I don't want to put a picture of my face on an ad. I'm not telling you to put a picture of a face on your ad. I'm telling you that whatever your identity is had better be integrated into your marketing piece. I've seen 1,000 ads for high-end, upscale kitchen remodeling companies that put a beautiful kitchen picture on their ad, and guess what? It looks exactly like every other kitchen remodeler's ad. Oh, but ours really is that beautiful. How's somebody going to know that? by just looking. So in this particular case, if you're anxious to get the job done or you're anxious to get the job done right, we take a little longer, we cost a little more. Here's one. I could honestly care less if you have a list of 3 remodelers who are cheaper than me. Do you think this guy is concerned about getting the lowest price deals out there? No. He goes to the trade show, the home show, whatever it is. Persnickety, demanding, hard to please, then I'm the remodeler for you. We're not the fastest. We're not the cheapest. We are, however, according to our customers, the best. This is a flyer on the left-hand side of the screen. It has the same thing. Why? Because that's the identity. Here's another banner in the middle on this screen. This is a banner for a home show. Ruin my vacation, interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m. My only concern is that your job is 100% perfect. Here's my cell number. And people see this as they're walking by the home show, and they say to themselves, what? Wow, that's different. That's powerful. That's precise. That's passionate. I get it. This guy's going to treat me right. Here's what it doesn't say. I'll treat you right, because nobody will believe that, because that's a platitude. Platitudes are a good start, but we've got to elevate the attitude. We've got to use specificity. We've got to find power. We've got to find precision. We've got to find passion integrated into the language so that when people hear it, they see it, they read it, they will also, here's the key thing. Are you ready? Here comes the word. They will feel it, right? Is marketing supposed to be logical, or is it supposed to be emotional? The answer is all of the above, man. Logically speaking, somebody that will let you ruin their vacation, interrupt their dinner, and wake them up at 2 a.m. is going to pay pretty good attention to you and do things right and be persnickety and hard to please and demanding and fussy just like you are. And that makes you feel a certain way, and the prospects that they want eat it up. Gift cards with the, the guy's pictures on it. Here's a postcard. I shut down the job site in disgust, ripped out the entire floor, and started over again from scratch. Me and not done exactly right don't get along very well. If I have to choose between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time. And then he tells a story. Remember, that was one of the things we talked about in being precise, was telling the story. And he tells a story about in May 2006 when he did a job and it wasn't exactly right, so he shut the job down. He ripped the floor out. He started over, and it cost him $6,600. He didn't care because he didn't like it being done wrong. Right? Yeah. Email goes out. Subject line, are you ready for your meeting with Portland's most persnickety remodeler? Most remodelers hate dealing with high-end, high-maintenance customers who complain about wanting everything a certain way. Those are the only kind I get along with. If you're looking for whatever, just get it done, you might want to cancel our appointment. Cookie-cutter quality is not why people hire me. But if you're the kind of person that other companies hate doing business with because your demands are so unrelenting, we're going to be a great match. Are you the kind of person that's willing to send your meal back to the chef 3 times because it's not cooked to your exact specifications? We're going to get along just fine. Actually, you're my dream customer. And people read that and they go, wow, man, that's who I'd love to do business with. Take your identity, put it in your postcard, your flyer, your home show, your website, your advertisements, and here's what happens. It becomes a powerhouse, and people say, oh, I get it. Now, Kevin Bacon, remember that guy? You run your ad, 2 people call, great, but you used to get 10 calls, not 2. Now, the people that are searching before they ever saw your ad, let's assume for just a minute, benefit of the doubt, we fix your search engine optimization so they actually find your site. That's not a 100% sure deal that you're already doing that, but let's assume that we can make that happen. They find your website, they see this information, and they say to themselves, wow, this is who I want to do business with. I would have to be an absolute fool to do business with anyone else but you, regardless of the price. And you get some of those 4 before your ad ever even runs. And then your ad runs, and the other 4 people, remember, 2 called, 4 never called because they already took care of scratching this itch before they ever saw your ad. And then there was another 4 that saw your ad and only one of them called. But now when those 4 see this website, they go, wow, this is great. I'm going to call these guys. I want to do business. And your number of leads that used to be 10 and is now 2 starts going back up to 4, 5, 6, and 7, and even 10, and even more than 10, because you know why? Every time your competitor runs his ad that 4 people didn't call because people went to the website and scratched that itch before they ever saw the ad, they all see this website, they all see this identity, and they all call you. And so now you don't get the same dumb 10 leads you used to get. You get 20 leads, 30 leads, 50 leads, 100 leads because you own and dominate and rule online and everywhere else that your identity is shining and sparkling and glittering and attracting like a tractor beam, right? That's what we're going for here, tractor beams, like Star Wars. This is a testimonial from this same customer that I've just been talking about. I thought I'd email and let you know what's been happening. We landed our biggest remodeling job ever, over $200,000, with a couple who lives out of state and are moving here this summer. We are convinced, 99% certain, we got this job because of the new website. The clients loved it, obviously read all of it. We think they called all of our references, the preliminary discussions. They referred to some of our gallery pictures, wanting those features or materials in their project. They're excited to have their project and story on our website when it is all said and done. Thank you, MLAM, for creating such a powerful tool to help set us apart from others. You might look at that website, go to it. I mean, go, it's live on the internet. Go look at it, reviveremodeling.com. You might look at it and say, well, I don't know if this is all that great. I don't know if this is what is going to portray what I'm trying to say. Here's what you got to understand. You got to make stuff look nice, and it's got to look pretty, and it's got to have all the bells and whistles that you want it to have. But if it doesn't communicate powerfully, all those bells, all those whistles, all that polish means jack. Means jack. It's like showing up to a wedding. You don't want to show up to a wedding in jean shorts and a T-shirt, but also at the same time, you don't want to show up to a wedding wearing a tuxedo when the wedding is not until next week, or when you don't know the people. It's not about just looking good. You've got to look good, and you've got to have also the identity, the message, the power to back it up, okay? So let's play round 2 of our game, What's Your Identity? No arm twisting. This is a postcard. No 2.5 hour sales meetings. No compliance techniques. No uncomfortable silence. No hard closes. No regrets. Replacement windows. This is no sales pressure. Strength of warranty. Lots of window companies love to talk about their incredible lifetime warranties. The only thing incredible about them is that they can legally call them lifetime. Unique. Ordinary, everyday, tame, tired, mundane, same old kitchens bore us to tears. We specialize in pizzazz. Don't call us if you're looking for the usual. We hate ordinary. You say, wow, that's kind of strong. Isn't that limiting your market? Well, if you specialize in pizzazz, then why wouldn't you want to specialize in pizzazz and communicate and let people know it and say it and have power, precision, and passion so people can instantly, definitively understand who you are, what you're all about, how you're different, why you're better, and what they can expect when doing business with you. I promise you, people that look at this ad can tell that very quickly and very accurately. This is what we call identity, okay? Fair prices, $29,200 to remodel my bathroom. You know, that seems a bit excessive. So by way of wrapping this up, definition of identity, words, phrases, and images articulated with power, precision, and passion that instantly, definitively communicate who you are, what you're all about, what customers can expect when doing business with you. Now let me just give you a few examples in closing so that you can better understand different types that might come up. So Incognito Custom Closets, if you look at this, this is the classic company that's doing well, that has a great little business going, but has terrible communication on their website, no identity. Incognito Custom Closet has been manufacturing custom closet organizing systems since 1994. Our meticulous attention to detail and unwavering commitment to the highest standards of quality and service are unmatched. Our dedicated team of professionals, it's just the usual platitudinal garbage. So here's what we put in place for them. There's a reason over 4,300 families have trusted Incognito since 1994. We always insist on doing every job exactly right. No flimsy hardware, drawer glides, or hinges, ever. No cheap fiberboard wood or cheesy laminates. Every project custom measured, constructed, and installed. No fast prefab kits with clumsy fit. And then below that, the surprisingly affordable custom closet solution. Now there's some things going on the right-hand side of this site that have to do with social proof and evidence. We're not going to cover that. That falls more under category number 2 of making sure that you're winning online. I really want to just focus now on the identity. Look at it. Well, this would be a home show. We always insist on doing every job exactly right. Same kind of thing. Taylor & Young Windows. This is a company's website. I got to talking to the owner, and he said, you know what, I'm really, really good at windows. I know everything about windows. I know I've forgotten more about Windows than most people know in this industry. And he mentioned to me that he really dislikes sales environments. In fact, he would prefer to give quotes over the phone. I mean, very unusual in the industry, right? But if you look at this website, look at it. It's just, it doesn't tell you anything about anything. Here's what we came up with for this guy. Looking for great windows without all the sales pressure, then call the window nerd. The fact is, I know as much about Windows as anyone on earth. Fact, sales situations make me really uncomfortable. Result, you get the best windows without the dog and pony show. I'll give you a quote over the phone. I'll come out to your house if that's what you really want. Either way, you'll get a fair, no games price. The nerd way, the usual way. And it explains, here's how we're different. Energy Swing Windows. This company has a pretty decent website. How do I know that I'm getting the best value in replacement windows? Easy to clean swing windows, manufactured right here in Western Pennsylvania. Talk to the owner of this company, a guy named Steve Rendenkamp. And here's what I found out. These guys have a phenomenal business. Their attention to detail, their commitment to quality is really, 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 really high. Their procedures and processes that assure quality are unbelievable. The amount of oversight and auditing of work done is really second to none. But see, you can't just say stuff like that because people hear that, they go, okay, well, you know, what else would you say? Well, here's what else we would say. Every once in a while, you find out one company that literally does everything right. We sweat every single detail on every single project to ensure a 100% perfect job every single time, start to finish and beyond, no exceptions. Below that, there's some text. Below that, how we beat the pants off of every other window company in Pittsburgh. And then these are links to other parts of the website that have information that's very specific, that's passionate, powerful, precise, right, on these various topics. James T. Markey Home Renovation. Call today. Welcome to James T. Markey Home Remodeling. We're New Jersey's choice for quality replacement windows and home improvements. Our business has always been family-owned and operated for more than 27 years. Same old stuff. I got to talking to this guy. I said, what makes you different? What makes you tick? He said, we've got better prices than our competitors. I said, you know, I've heard that probably about 40 billion times in my career. He said, no, you don't understand. We really do have better prices. I said, well, how is that? Do you sell crummy stuff? He says, no. For the same quality of materials, the same brands, the same level of installation for a window, we're going to be anywhere from $50 to $200 less than our competitors. I said, okay, how? How is that possible? And he proceeded to tell me how they have low overhead and they don't spend money on advertising and they have a higher volume than their competitors. And these things that allowed me to understand and realize and say, wow, that's really believable. So here's what we came up with. I'm not just going to tell you that we have superior products at reasonable prices. I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. The best windows money can buy for $50 to $250 less than anywhere else. Kitchen and bath remodeling with 40% less markup than others charge. Others cut corners to offer lower prices. We use a combination of high volume sales, no advertising, and really low overhead. Okay? Then you see here there's a box. Why we win the price wars. You'll notice that on a lot of these websites we have, there's this box here that has sort of a continuation of the story. It has interesting information in an easy-to-read format that's sort of a pull-out. It's an aside. This is a company that does electric service. This just doesn't look good. Here's what we came up with. Service with a woman's touch. Meet the pleasant, stress-free electrical contractor. I guarantee my electrician will show up on time with a smile on his face and do terrific work, or your house call is free, by Randy McKean. Okay? Why women love us. On time or it's free. Well, here's what I found out when I was talking to this guy, Randy McKean, that owns this company. 80% of his customers are women anyway, and they love him. Why? Because he's very disarming. He's got a very easygoing, disarming, mellow personality, and when women talk to him, they get this feeling. This guy's not going to come into my house. He's not going to be threatening. He's not going to be intimidating. He's not going to try to sell me a bunch of junk I don't want or I don't understand. And his customers love him. So we ran with this theme. This is now his identity. Why women love us. On time or it's free. Clean, friendly, respectful tax. Upfront, no pressure pricing. Everything is 100% guaranteed. We support women's causes and so forth, okay? You know, and I could give you more and more examples. I've got literally hundreds of them. But for sake of time, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here in just a minute. I'll give you just a couple more examples, and then we'll be done, okay? So this is a company called Freelight. They've got a website that looks nice. It's a beautiful website. big picture, maybe you say, oh, I like big pictures on my website. Okay, great. You put big pictures on your website, but you can't put big pictures on your website but not anything else worthwhile. What's that going to do? It's going to make people go, oh, okay, they got nice pictures. And maybe you'll get some deals from people that say, well, all things considered, it looks really nice. But here's the problem with looking really nice. There's other companies that look really nice, particularly if you're a higher-end remodeler. I'm telling you, this is a death kiss. Kiss of death? What do you want to call it? We've got all these beautiful pictures on our website, but we don't really communicate anything other than, hey, we do high-end work, and you can tell by looking at our pictures. But when they compare you against 7 other remodelers that have very, very similar-looking websites, it's just not going to cut the mustard. You've got to say something. So instead of just having a nice-looking website, we take and we maintain the same look, but now we take this concept of free light, free from sales pressure, free from lengthy pitches, free from hassles, free from regrets. Introducing the easy, no hassle, no pressure way to buy windows and skylights in Phoenix. We find out what you want, make recommendations, and then step back and let you decide. Now, here's an important point. One of the things that we've got to let people know, because of the fact that they've not done business in this industry before, is we've got to let them know not just that we do things, but also what they can expect from our competitors. Not in a negative, derogatory, hey, they suck kind of a way, but in a way that people can understand. Look what it says here. After over 30 years in this business, we've learned a few things about what people like and don't like about buying windows and skylights. High pressure and long drawn-out sales speeches are out. An open and honest discussion about what you need and want is in. That's why we've adopted the free and easy approach to selling windows. We conduct a quick needs analysis, show you the product or products that will be the best fit, give you an easy quote, and then we step back and let you make a decision. We'd be honored to add you to our list of 7,500 happy customers, but if for whatever reason you decide to wait or buy from someone else, that's okay too. Our only concern is that you get the right products at the right price with no hassles. What we include over here on the right: thorough needs analysis, specific recommendations, short demonstration of product, answers to your questions, no hassle quote. What we leave out: long drawn-out presentations, boring technical talk, crazy buy it now price discounts, trial closes and hard closes, confusing price games. See, we're helping them understand what to look for, what to watch out for, what they could expect if they don't end up doing business from us. Okay, last example: basement remodeling company, bathroom remodeling company. Okay, bathroom remodeling, attic insulation in Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, throughout Central Ohio. This is, again, another case of keyword stuffing. A customer that puts a bunch of keywords of geographic locations and products so that Google indexes it. It goes up in the search engine rankings. That's good. They'll find you, Kevin Bacon, right? We found him. But if it doesn't have information that actual humans would be interested in, then you're still opening yourself up to a big problem, okay? So here's what we came up with. We finished over 4,400 basements and baths since 1999, more than anyone else in the country. We're faster. We use better products. Our installers are more experienced. And surprisingly, we're actually less expensive. Oh, by the way, we don't play pricing games. We don't use big phony discounts, and everything we sell comes with a lifetime warranty. Okay? I think that's all we need to do. Let me see if I've got anything else that I want to show you here. Well, let me just show you a couple more examples, and then we'll be done. This is Owens Corning Basement. This is the corporate of Owens Corning Basement. This is their website. Currently, I don't know if it's either updated or in the process of being updated. The original site, it's got these big, huge pictures of things that you can do with your basement. That's what you would maybe expect to see. Basement remodeling with Owens Corning Basement. Turn wasted space into your family's favorite place. But see, this doesn't tell people how they're different or better or what you can expect when doing business with them. It just tells people what they already know, that you can turn your basement into something special. Here's what we came up with for Owens Corning Corporate. Now you can have a beautifully finished, mold-resistant, sound-absorbing basement with a transferable lifetime warranty in about 2 weeks. Introducing a revolutionary way to quickly finish any basement that avoids the usual pitfalls, hassles, problems, and red flags. The Owens Corning Basement Finishing System beats traditional drywall construction in almost every category that matters, hands down. It's powerful, it's passionate, it's precise. Okay? Do it once, do it right. Not just a cute slogan or empty promise to us. It's our uncompromising passion and an unrelenting mission. If a product doesn't look absolutely stunning, unconditionally protect your home from weather, and last literally forever, then I categorically refuse to sell it or install it, period. This is called talking with some power, okay? Fiber cement siding from James Hardie beats flimsy vinyl siding hands down. Looks better, lasts longer, less maintenance, won't peel, dent, flake. Your home says a lot about who you are. Don't let your siding say flimsy and cheesy. The only roofer in Florida that requires no deposit and offers standard tenured labor warranty. You never pay a dime until you're 100% satisfied. That's your assurance the job will be done right, on time, and on budget. I'm a roofer by birth. I'm a roofer by choice. My father taught me the right way is the only way. Powerful. Tells the story. Powerful language. Okay? Introducing the fully custom, not from a kit, rock-solid engineered 50-year warranty sunroom that's installed by seasoned employees, not subcontractors, sold without a hint of pressure or pricing games. Better Living Sunrooms by Garrity beats other brands of sunrooms hands down. Okay? This is called identity. We've shown you a bunch of examples of websites. We also would take this, like I showed you earlier with some examples from the remodeling company, we would put this into other things, whether it's a home show, whether it's a postcard mailer, whether it's an advertisement, radio, television, it doesn't matter. The identity is where it all starts. So that's what I have for you today. If you've got any questions about identity, if you'd like us to help you with your identity, feel free to contact our office. You can find our contact information online at mymonline.com. Go to the remodeler section. You can see examples of everything I've talked about. You can see some of the fulfillment packages and bonus packages that we have available. And we look forward to helping you with your identity and other marketing needs in the future. Thanks so much for attending the webinar today. We'll talk to you in the near future. Thanks. Bye now.